Next is from Adrian Orloff. Somebody Sabu. Howdy, crew. 7-year plus Patreon member here and wishing you all the very best for the holiday season. I know we don't take requests, but was hoping as part of the holiday spirit we can hear Disco's version of Sabu's entrance music. I'm willing to risk a yellow card in order to hear this. Thanks, and that's from Adrian. I don't take requests. I might do it on the outro though, as a special surprise. I cannot do it in this email because I would be honoring the request. All right, and we don't do that on the show, right? Okay.
Is this the one here? Let's go.
Let me see. What's it say?
We have a 4-year.
Yes. Okay, but okay. But read what Dave says, because they're talking about everybody's getting on Tony about the cage, bringing up the cage match ratings, right? So what does he say here?
Okay, so this guy Juice Springsteen said, "Imagine Bischoff citing the Observer star ratings as a reference for booking shows in WCW. I can't believe Tony Khan would openly admit this, even if true. To be fair, TK is really trying to book AEW for the fans, good or bad." And Dave responds, "What's funny is this shows how out of touch former wrestling people are to the real world. Always look at a similar subject, such as movies or TV. I've talked to people in the movie business for years, and they reference scores by critics as well as fan base reaction scores all the time. Dwayne Johnson always referenced exit polling audiences scores in his movies. TV people obviously look to ratings as well as how it fares with critics and audiences."
Okay, and then show my tweet that I quote tweeted. Go to the
And Disco said, "Okay, so we have a 4-year sample period where the match ratings of one company significantly outperform the match ratings of the other, but the one with the lower match ratings significantly outperform the other company in attendance, TV ratings, and revenue."
Correct, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of said the same thing, yeah.
Right, you said the same, right. You were thinking the exact same thing when I was thinking that. Like, dude, if you talk about, that's my whole point. It's like, where is AEW failing? No, he didn't. But of course, all the AEW fans, a lot of people agree with me. It's like 50-50. But the point being there is like, if they're scoring so high in all your metrics, why are they still losing money? It's like either your ratings of their matches are inaccurate, or, like I said, that doesn't really equate to business match ratings. And it doesn't, because I've always said the dimes are drawn before the match takes place. You got to. I mean, the people are paying to watch characters build to a feud and have a match. It doesn't really matter how good the match is if the match drew. Like the promoter, you want a good match, but if the match was, but you had a full house, is the promoter upset about that? Like promoters, people running wrestling shows don't want to have half full houses with great matches. They want the place to be packed and make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, when a guy's a billionaire,
but let me just tell you something. Even though he isn't, because it's packed, that's the one time a year, or one of the very few times a year, where you're going to have a chance to do things that are going to stick in people's minds, and that's where you want to do it in front of your biggest audience of the year. You know what I'm saying?
All right, this is an interesting
one.
So
they come back.
Yeah. Next one's from Jerome Jones. Subject is AEW lacks stars. Conan and Disco. There are plenty of superstars from WCW. Booker T, Flair, Goldberg, Conan, Disco, Luger. The list goes on and on. Did you see Tyrese Halliburton mark out for seeing Booker T the other day?
No.
Yes.
So they're at the Pacers. You know, like on the tunnel, like underneath in the building where they come out through the tunnel and stuff and everything. They were backstage. Well, we're back, and there's the area where the players walk, and the fans are behind the rails where the players are walking out onto the court, right?
Here, I'll play it.
And Booker T, show this. This is actually pretty cool.
20 seconds. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, you guys will like this.
Right.
Go on, I like it.
Booker T, no way. And the queen, oh my God. I'm a big young man. That's Booker T. Y'all here? Oh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yo, Halliburton is just a straight killer, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the future. Yeah.
Here. Okay. Next one's from.
It's always cool to see stars marking out over the wrestlers. It's always very cool.
Okay, let's continue the email. The Continental Classic was a nice opportunity to build a new star like Brody King or Andrade, but it was wasted on the usual Moxley Kingston wins. Can you two explain the process of building a new star? Jerome Jones. The guys got to just look at LA Knight. Guy, you go out there and you nail it. They're giving you an angle, okay? And usually building stars happens organically, okay? Because bro, they were just feeding LA Knight to what's his name? The kid that died. What's his name? Bray Wyatt. Okay,
right.
And he was just supposed to be fodder for Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt was coming back. It was all this fanfare, like, "Oh, Bray, he's one of the greatest talkers of all time," you know. So, and bro, LA Knight ripped Mike. Mm-hmm. And it was like, bro, he's coming across like the one guy's coming across as a star. He's like making the other guy look like a jabroni.
Yeah.
And things like that happen again. And then you look at that and you're saying, this kid's getting over. And you just continue the push. He rises up the card. And you look at your card. You look at who he's on equal terms with. And you look at who's above him. And basically, you put him with guys he's on equal terms with. And you elevate him past those guys up into the next guy in the card. What happens at AEW is they, a guy will get a win. Everybody will say, "Oh, he's a star now," and the next angle he's in is a guy that's below him on the card. And it's like that's not how you. That's where the lack of star building comes from. The guy needs to keep rising up through the ranks. Like who was it? There was somebody. Who was it that got it was maybe Orange Cassidy. Won a title, like his first angle was with one of these like Ring of Honor guys or something. And I was like, why is he feeling? Remember that we were talking about this? Like, why is he fighting this guy? That guy's like that, but that's how you do it. So, Coney, you got anything to add to that?
I know, just guys are, most of it does happen organically, and then you just try to ride the wave and catch it and ride it and expand it. And sometimes you've got to take a guess and say, hey, I think this guy has a potential making him, and I'm going to push him and see if you're right or wrong. But
you tell the other guy, hey, look, he's going to go over on you. And right. Usually most of the time it's like, when you have a good locker room, other guys can see this guy's getting over and they have no problem with it. Sometimes you run into guys that have difficulty relinquishing their spot and they don't want to do the job. And I'm sure, Conan, you've dealt with that in Mexico like far more often than it happens here in the States,
Right.
I would suggest.
Yeah.
How many times? Let me ask you a question. How many times have like your veteran guys, when they have to put one of these younger cats over, what percentage of the time would they about it?
Well, usually when I go in there, I already have a plan going forward where they're going to end up looking good. So I already come in with that plan in there. Right. But I can tell just by the way they sell it and the way they want to put over, I would say like still 80% of the times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next is Jorge.
Because nobody wants to lose their spot, and they think that if they lose, they're losing their spot.
Right. Yeah. Next is from Jorge Pata. Subject is mailbag. Hey team, George from Vegas here. Before I ask any questions, just like to say that it's very annoying to hear wrestlers talk about the evolution of wrestling is somehow better than before. They should simply refer to it as the change of wrestling. In any case, a 35-year-old man with a six-pack, tattoos in 70 part of his body, and in any case, as a 35-year-old man with a six-pack, tattoos in 70% of my body, and 5'11", I'm not your average wrestling fan. I don't speak about my passion for it with other people in real life, as it's embarrassing to be classified as a fan alongside average fans who have only not a woman. For you, it might be different because you made a living off it, but to an average person, do you ever feel ashamed to say you're involved with wrestling? I'm not ashamed, but outside of coming on this podcast, bro, wrestling's not popular in my social circle. Like I got two guys at work that watch it. And they'll come like my friend Kareem. Kareem's one of the Magics from Africa, right? He watches it pretty regularly. But when wrestling comes to town, Steele, my manager, I'll get tickets so they can take his kid. But his kid doesn't watch they don't watch the shows. They just go to see it when it's in town because it's a fun event to take kids to. The WWE is. So, but I won't say that I'm embarrassed to say that I'm in professional wrestling. It's just that it's just not discussed like it used to be. Wrestling was way, like 5 times as many people used to watch the shows as they do now. So it's just difficult finding people with that name. Bro, everybody used to talk about wrestling all the time. Like they used to call it water cooler talk. Like everybody, bro, the kids at school were all talking about wrestling the next day.
Right.
And you would see video clips of this. So it's like, it's just different now. But like I said, it's just not. I'm never embarrassed because I did it for a living. But it's like, it's just not popular like it used to be. Even though even though WWE just did their best business in a calendar year they've ever done. Isn't that unbelievable? To show how great they are at marketing. So, what about you, Conan?
Yeah, and nobody I know really kind of what. Well, most of my friends are in the business, but I'm talking about my friends outside of the business. They don't really watch wrestling. I'd probably be more embarrassed if they had to watch what I'm watching, but they probably don't.
All right.
And I think that really, like 9 out of 10 times when I have told people, and I don't go around saying it, what I do, they're always like, "Oh, that sounds cool." What does that entail?
Right.
Yeah, it's friends of mine tell people a lot, like everywhere. Like he works with Conan and Disco. He does wrestling podcasts. He was on Jericho show and stuff like that. And then I wind up getting stuck in that conversation for a while. Like, hey, what do you think's going to happen with this? And oh, did you see this? Or I heard this guy doesn't like this guy. And it always exposes how many wrestling fans there are around. But yeah, they do that to me all the time.
Next is another one from Brad Zawacki. You're going to give him suspension here. Somebody's new character. Dion Conan, have you ever pitched ideas in WCW radically change your characters? If so, what were the ideas and storylines? Thank you all. Much respect. It's from Brad Zawacki. I pitched the Disco with the Q because all they weren't doing anything with me, and I was just like, I just didn't want to get beat in that character. Because that's all when you don't really have any storylines for it, but you're on TV all the time. And basically, you're just out there just like getting beat. They give me a storyline here and there, but I was just like, all right, I want to just change it up a little bit. That's it, And Terry Taylor was like, fine, And plus, we were working with Conan and stuff, so that was fun because we were like saying, why don't we just all work? They're not really doing much with us, so let's just all do it together,
I don't remember this. Go ahead, Conan. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't remember this. Maybe it was just like a week or two. But was there a time when you were ever referred to as Hip Hop Inferno?
No.
It says it on your Wikipedia, and I'm like,
oh
shit, did I miss that?
Pull up my Wikipedia.
Yeah, I got
people have gone to town on my Wikipedia. Have you seen this?
Oh, let's see what it looks like right now.
Let's read some of this because people are going crazy on it.
It looks like it's cleared up.
Oh, it is? Well, read some of the stuff. There's got to be some wacky stuff in there.
That's all legitimate. No, it looks like somebody had it cleared. This is all real stuff. Yeah.
Okay. They were saying obviously it was like a lot of things, a lot of stuff. I don't know. So next is from Derek Mejia. Subject is Money in the Bank. I just listened to Mailbag about how to book Priest Money in the Bank cash in. To me, it seems like they missed the boat with his cash in. Now the Punk's back. He won't beat Roman. So thinking back to Seth's cash in, Seth's cash in. He pinned Roman, not Brock. To keep Seth strong and keep the story going with Punk and Rollins, have Priest cash in, have Punk pin him. Because in my opinion, for Raw and SmackDown, it will have to be a failed cash in. Only way you can have a successful cash in is NXT. And if he goes down to NXT and does a cash in down in NXT, being Dom was the North American champ, I think he's the best way to go. That's ridiculous. He didn't fit in with the Roman, Cody, Seth, and Punk. Thank you. And that's from the GOM. Bro, he could easily. They could let Punk beat Seth, and he can cash in immediately on Punk. And that's a win-win for everybody because the Punk doesn't have the belt because, like you said, the locker room doesn't want to be perceived they're giving special treatment. But he gets a win over Seth, and they could go on from there. And Priest has the belt now. So I don't know, bro. If he's got to cash in eventually. I mean, there was no reason to give him the Money in the Bank suitcase if they didn't see him winning the title. And now I'm thinking it's making it look like the plans are changing. So I don't know. What do you think, Conan?
Well, it's a good problem to have. They have so many stars, they can't put them all. They can save some stuff for later on.